Well, Frank Umar joins us now. He's the first public relations officer to explain what your fears are. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's my pleasure being here.
Okay, let's hit the ground running. Tell us about this police BCMR.
Straight to the point, the police BCMR is actually nothing new. The only thing new about it is the fact that we're moving from an old, analog, obsolete, and ineffective system of doing it to a new system, a digital platform, which we believe comes with so many add-on advantages. If you look at the Road Traffic Act, Section 3 or thereabout, the law specifically mandates the Inspector General of Police to maintain a central motor registry. The law went ahead to also require the Inspector General of Police to also maintain a database for all licenses and renewal of such licenses in Nigeria.
As driver's licenses?
Yes.
Okay.
A database for all of them. It is in pursuant of this law that the Central Motor Registry was actually created in the first instance. And this has been there for years, for decades. And as at the time it was originally created, it worked. It was effective. What are the purposes? The purposes are, the objectives of that law and the creation of the Central Motor Registry is, one, for the country to have a central reservoir where you can actually find the details of all vehicles that are registered in Nigeria, that are on Nigeria roads. That is actually designed to help the police in investigations. For instance, if a vehicle is stolen, and that vehicle is recovered, and for one reason or the other, something has been tampered in the vehicle. With the engine or chassis number, you can make reference to the Central Motor Registry, and you will know who owns the vehicle because his data are there. It will also help to actually combat so many other crimes. If a vehicle is used in committing a crime, suicide bombing, rape, kidnapping, and stuff like that, you can actually know who owns the vehicle. But over time, that system became complicated. Initially, there were few cars on Nigerian roads, so it was easy for you to manually just flip through your records. But over time, the population or the number of cars in Nigeria becomes so many. If you visit the Central Motor Registry, you discover that you have a huge office with heaps of files. You cannot possibly do any kind of research under that environment. So we decided to come in with the police biometric Central Motor Registry. This is how it works. On the platform, you have every detail about your vehicle, your name, your address, your next of kin, your phone number, your email address, the registration number of the car, the chassis number, every single thing, every bit of information you can imagine. You input it into the system. Then we also attach your biometrics. We take your fingerprints. We take your fingerprints. We also take your facial photo, and we attach that biometric to the vehicle. Now, having done that, these are the advantages. One, it is impossible for anybody to steal your car and drive it in this country. As if we can achieve, if we can achieve 80, 90, 100% compliance, it will be impossible for anybody to steal your car and drive it in this country. Let me tell you why people steal cars in this country and circulate them in this country. One, there are lots of double registration going on. There are two ways of doing double registration. The first way of doing double registration is a particular number is issued to so many vehicles. And in this country, in our research, we've discovered that there is a particular number in Ibadan that was issued to over 120 vehicles. One single number. That's one form of double registration. The other form of double registration is a man sells your car, probably at Ikorodu. He takes the car just to Ogba there, sells the car to someone. The person changes the color. He might not even tamper with the color. He simply removes the plate number, and he takes that car to a licensing office, and he registers that car again. That's another form of double registration. If you have a biometric central motor registry, that will not be possible. The reason is because once the first registration number is imputed into the system, any other attempt to impute any other system in the same number, either the chassis or the engine, into that system will be detected automatically. I give you a typical example of what happened in Port Harcourt. A magistrate, okay, a man, a Nigerian, a young Nigerian staying in the United States, when he made up his mind to return back to Nigeria, bought a Honda CR-V 2007 model. He got back into the country, settled down in Port Harcourt, doing well in his business. He was, along the line, he was eventually kidnapped. After his kidnap, few days later, he was released. The kidnappers refused to release his vehicle. They sold his vehicle to somebody in Port Harcourt. The person in Port Harcourt sold the vehicle to a registered auto dealer. The man took that same vehicle in its original form without pimping the vehicle, without tampering with the vehicle, took it to his car lot and displayed it. He only took away the registration number. A sitting magistrate, a serving magistrate in Port Harcourt, who is still serving as a magistrate in Port Harcourt today, went to that car lot, saw the car, loved the car, and bought the car. Took that same car to a licensing office in Port Harcourt, registered that car, and got another plate number for that car, and was driving the car. On a fateful day, the young man saw the car. His sixth sense, very strong instinct, told him, this is my car. And he raised an alarm. He mustered the courage, raised an alarm. The police arrived at the scene. They took them to the police station. When the police discovered that the man driving the car is a sitting magistrate, they turned to the young man and said, are you sure you know what you're doing? The guy said, yes. The guy rushed back home, got the spare key of the car. Perhaps that's a lesson for all of us. If you're buying a car that has just one key, we'll probably need to interrogate the buyer further. Got the spare key of the car, got back to the police station, pressed the remote, and the car's opened. Got into the car, started the car. Everybody was, all the people there were stunned. He went back home, got the papers of the car, and was ready for them to cross-check the registration, the engine and chassis number. But before they did that, he said, hey, police officers, when I bought this car in the United States, I had a problem with this car, and an arc was welded. Something broke, and it was electronically welded in the United States. If you open the bonnet of this car and I can't find it, then this is not my car. They opened the bonnet, and he went straight to the arc and pointed at the car. At that point in time, the magistrate was sufficiently embarrassed. And what happened here? Eventually, it was discovered that the car is his. That's cutting the story short. What happened here? What happened here is that, or what happened there was that, because we don't have a biometric, a functional central motor registry, that car was registered. And they will still go back to the CMR center.
Sorry, Mr. Amba, I'm trying to see how much of time we can cover here. Again, sometimes people change their engines of their vehicles. And some other time, perhaps maybe some other vehicles that you've not been able to trace have been taken somewhere and dismembered, and some of those engines have been sold. All of these engines you see in so many spare part markets, how do you now register some of them? Maybe when I finally go, I change my car engine, because all of them carry numbers.
Now let me tell you how it works. The bulk of the cars that are stolen in this country are not dismembered here. The biggest incentive for car thief or for car theft in this country is the fact that you can buy the car, you can steal the car, sell it to the man next door, and he will use the car. There are a few instances where cars are stolen and they are butchered. But those are few instances. And even at that, what will start happening is the BCMR will still serve as a strong disincentive for that. The reason is this. People don't take cars and dismantle them and sell the engine for nothing. And if you discover that because if you have your car on the BCMR, whatever change that take place on the car, you're expected to go back to the platform and update it. If you change the color, you're expected to go back to the platform and change it. Now, by the time you change your engine number and you get back to the platform, if you impute an engine number of a car that has been reported stolen, the system will automatically prop it up. And that will serve as a strong disincentive, because if it props up, it means that you know that you have bought an engine of a stolen car. And the first thing you will likely do is to report to the police, and the police will go to the shop of the owner where you bought it and pick the person. And once that happens 1, 2, 3 times, even the man that sells spare parts will know that he will need to interrogate whoever wants to sell a car to him. And if we have the BCMR system working, the magistrate would have been saved the embarrassment of buying a stolen car. Because all he needed to do is, once he's satisfied that this is the car I want to buy, he goes to the BCMR platform and then type the chassis number or the engine number of the car. If that car is on the watch list, it will prop up instantly. And come to think about it, if you look at the complications of crime in this country today, you will discover that the bulk of the most challenging crimes we have, from armed robbery to kidnapping to suicide bombing to trafficking in arms to trafficking in persons to drug peddling, all these types of crimes are committed using vehicles.
You know,